Good morning and welcome back to KJ's channel. Got home at 10 o'clock last night, so first thing this morning I'm going to make yesterday's video and get that posted. And then today is a Tuesday, which means I'm homeschooling Dad today. Jeremiah's piano lessons were canceled because he was gone all week last week and didn't have a chance to practice. So we're going to skip this week. That means if I do everything pretty good, I won't have to leave the house today. Sharon can go check the mail. Duke plays tonight, first game in the ACC tournament. They'll lose, and then I guess we'll see what postseason they do have. That's not very optimistic of me. My cousin Josh is a lot more optimistic. I said about halfway through the season, I said, well, Josh, we're not going to see any 2021 national championship shirts. And he goes, well, they could play in the NIT. That's optimism. Boys are just about ready to start school. I built that video and I realized that I talked about avoiding discouragement, but I didn't give you guys any tips about how I avoid discouragement. Especially in a small church. I've talked about it several times about how discouraging it can get when the weather's bad and people can't show up, or it's just a beautiful day and people don't show up. Coming off a mountaintop experience, all of those types of things, and how to deal with the discouragement that comes along when attendance fluctuations are in higher percentages. You notice when people are gone when you have 50 people. If you have 200 people and 10 people don't show up, it's not as noticeable. I'm not saying that pastors of churches that size don't get discouraged. I'm sure there's their own discouragements, but I know for a tiny church like us that if a couple people miss, I notice it, and it's easy to get discouraged, and you start to question and overthink. Are they mad at me? Did I something I say? Did what's going on in their life? So let me give you a few tips today about how I deal with discouragement. Homeschool is done. The boys finished up. They're in there watching a movie now after eating lunch. And we're just going to chill this afternoon until it's time for Pop and Dee Dee, since we don't have piano lessons. But let me start with maybe the first couple of things that I do to help stave off discouragement. Number one, and you guys hear me harp about this all the time, go back to your calling. Your calling. You answer to one person only. That's the Lord Jesus Christ. If He's happy with what you're doing, that's what matters. A lot of discouragement comes from pastors looking at the wrong metrics for success. And while we all want our churches to succeed, we all want to see people get saved, and we want to see people go into ministry. We want to see people's lives transform. We want to see people serving the Lord. Our calling is not to the soil, it's to the seed. Our job is to put the seed out, not to determine which soils are going to take the seed, and you know what I'm saying. The second thing is spend time in prayer. You're going to find out if you go back to your calling and you look to Jesus, you spend time with Him in prayer, you'll know if He's satisfied with you or not. He's leading you, He's guiding you. So that's the first area I always start, is spend time praying and thinking about my calling, and am I doing what God called me to do, no matter what anybody else might think, and no matter what the metrics might be in my particular setting. All right, the second major thing that I would say helps me stave off discouragement is I do make an effort to look at the positives. So human nature is to look at the negatives and the things that go wrong. And I don't remember where I heard statistics or kind of this idea, but you can do 10 positive things, but one negative thing will offset all of that. So I have made it my personal commitment to focus on the positives and not get caught up in the negatives, not to take things personal. I learned how to do that when I was in law enforcement. very rarely did you actually get comments of appreciation, even when you did things to help people. Now, there were always like appreciation days at a church, or there was something like that, but just in your day-to-day patrolling of the road, you very rarely heard somebody just say, "I appreciate you, thank you for what you do." But you did get people that complained about you. Why are you here? What are you doing? And so I learned not to take that stuff personal. They were talking to the uniform. They didn't know me at all. And so, I've kind of transitioned that over to the ministry. A lot of times they're not actually mad at me. They're mad at the Bible. They're mad at church structures or something like that, or they're mad at other people. And with me trying to help them think through things, they take it out on me. But anyway, I just try not to let that discourage me. I just don't take that stuff personal. And if I do start to get a little discouraged, I will focus on the positives and remember what is going well, what God has done. And that just helps. The boys wanted to go outside and play. The cat couldn't stand being inside. She was up here in the window. She was running back and forth. I had to let her out so that she could go out there and be with her boys. All right, one final thought or combination of thoughts about fighting against discouragement. Remember that you're in great company. You go through and you read the Psalms, and you see the struggles that David had and the times that he cried out to the Lord. You read about Paul and a lot of the stuff that he said and how he cried out to the Lord. So you're kind of in good company, but at the same time, I think it's important to enjoy life. Enjoy what you're going through. I don't know the best way to say embrace the pain. A doctor said that to my wife when she was giving birth to Jeremiah, and I thought she was going to kill him. But you do. You need to embrace that. You count it as joy to suffer for Christ. You see it as a good thing. Not that you become one of these people who just thrives on being discouraged and down and all that kind of stuff. But what I'm saying is, you learn to find those things in life that you enjoy and you get to do. So you get to live and you get to serve and you get to preach, instead of seeing it as a drudgery that you have to, fight through. So that's my final thoughts for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow morning we're getting up early. I am getting up early. Gonna try and do our first prayer group together, see how that works, and then meet my dietitian. So I'll give you guys an update on my health journey tomorrow.